Hi, Devin here talking to the world. So today we're just going to talk about a few things here and there about certain things about aspects of life. And one thing I think it's important to talk about is being who you are. Basically, the idea of being who you are. Because I know that a lot of people don't realize or maybe understand that it is important to be your true self and not try to pretend that you're something that you're not. I mean, I get it. I mean, you're trying to impress friends or families or social workers, co-workers, everybody else in that matter, especially when it comes to media. Like actors, they go and do their everyday daily job to pretend to be other characters, kind of fill in their shoes, which is okay to do. I mean, it's kind of a profession. But in the social life, it's not really much of a profession. It's more like how do you want to be perceived and how what you want people to think you are. And I think that's one of the fault thing in our society is that people look too closely on that. I mean, yeah, I mean, like, people are going to pick on you for being who you are. People are just going to laugh at you. People are going to think you're weird or a freak of what you think. And that kind of leads back to one of my first videos talking about personalities that everybody thinks differently. Not everybody's exactly the same, which obviously makes sense. But what I'm trying to understand though is that are you really happy by pretending to be something that you're not? Or are you doing it just because you want to be accepted by society? It's like you take it from the idea of being it's a choice between follow the leader or being a leader. What I mean by follow the leader is a person who's willing to do what other people are doing, kind of follow on the groups, not inventing themselves, not creating their own ideas, versus a person who is a leader, not afraid to do their own decision, the way to do their own things and be their own person. And that's kind of like separating the differences from one person to another. Also, into climb up the social ladder by being somebody that you're not can, in a way, improve or infect. Because sooner or later, somebody else is going to see the true you. And that's where the part comes in being best friends. Someone that you know for a long time, someone you really like or have in common with, that they see the true self. Therefore, you can't really lie to them, or they'll know that you're not really like they know that you're not being you. And that's what I find is cool thing about friendships. At the same time, relationship. I mean, if you notice in some relationships when you're with a girl or a guy, and they can sense when you're lying or they can sense you're hiding something, and that's another ball for another time that we can talk about. But what I believe is being who you are is essential being happy. I mean, I go by this one of my models, and that is being who you are, and you will get through life. And I don't mean just being who you are. I mean live each and every day as your own person, looking at every situation and every details that you can define that allows you to be happy. Like for me, I enjoy being at home, sitting down, watching TV, movies, playing video games, or talking to friends or something like that. I mean, that's what makes me happy is having entertainment more than just being outside all the time. Other people are more adventurous or more inclined to go to parties, do other different kind of things, which is cool. I mean, that's what separates everybody from being who they are. I mean, it is a flaw in our society is that people are too afraid to accept themselves, to allow other people to see who they really are. Because, by movies and history has shown us that being who you are can reveal some of the weakness, and you don't want to be exploited in that way. Which I get that. I mean, I don't want to be exploited in any which way that they know my deepest secret desire or secrets or anything that will compromise that will allow them to get their own benefit in their own gain. It's kind of like blackmailing or something like that in a reference to it. But I know that Getting up in the morning is always the hardest thing, especially when you have to decide whether or not if you want to go to school, go to work, or see some people that you don't really want to see or do see. And then at the same time, you have to make a decision. Are you going to be an honest person? Or are you going to be a liar? Are you going to do something dangerous or reckless? Or are you going to do something that benefits? Along the line, you got to find out which one that's going to make you happy. Or make a depression. I mean, that's one of the key things that depression comes from. It's not being who you are can cause depression or stress. Because a part of you knows that you want to do this, and the other part of you is like, no, you can't do that. That's not going to work. Nobody's going to like that. Nobody's going to like you for doing that. And that's really, like, that can make people angry. People stress out, and that's where all these outbursts and angry and crazy and yelling and doing something they were willing to regret. Again, it is everything has to do with society and how people view and look on these things. And I know that makes it very hard and complicated in every which way. But I think when it comes to in the end, you have to decide what makes you happy. You have to decide if you're going to be the real you or to pretend to be somebody else. I mean, if you're going to pretend to be somebody else, might as well kind of give up a part of yourself, or at least reinvent yourself. Find your hobbies and traits, things you like to do, and things you think you might like to do, and just kind of combine it together and make a whole new person. I mean, one of the most common things is reinventing yourself. And, and that's kind of constantly happens on a daily basis. And that in reference to the personality that I've talked about is that people change their mind on a daily basis, every week, all the time. Doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter who it is. It's always ever growing, ever adapting, ever evolving. Which is why our brain, scientists say that we use 100% of our brain, but we only know about 10, maybe 15% of it. So there's more secrets to be unlocked and more things to learn from it, or the ways that we do it. I mean, if you look at Albert Einstein, I mean, he's one of the geniuses that is able to look into gravity, lots of physics, and math, but he has a mental disability. But never stopped him from being who he is and what he is. And he's great at that. Just like any other greatest famous people like Abraham Lincoln, who's known as Honest Dave, being honest or whatever. And there are people like the Vines and Greek mythologies and Greeks and other cultures have their own way of showing who they are. What makes us happy is to be who you are. And I can't stress it enough. I mean, if you know who you are, how are you expected to be happy? How are you expected to be taken serious? Especially in a relationship. I mean, if you really think about a relationship, if you're lying about yourself the whole time, how do you expect that other person to trust you or believe you in that matter? It's not like a win-win situation. I mean, yes, you can go out to another country or another city and pretend to be somebody else and just kind of goof off. Because you know you're not living that place or that city, and you're always going to return. I mean, I've done that. I mean, when I went to Halifax a few times, I like to be somebody I'm not. Only to see what other people reaction, because back at home, you know the people know it's real you, or people that see you every day. So you're just trying to think, what can I do? How can I make this happen? What can I say to make a difference in every day? Which, again, follows to being a leader or follower. I'm the type that likes to be a leader. I do my own decisions, I do my own things. Whereas I know some people like to do what everybody else is doing. Like the Pokemon Go thing. I mean, everybody else kind of huddled together, finding Pokemons, go and catch them all, catch them all. But it's all society based. You do what you gotta do. You gotta do what makes you happy. And just know in the end, what really matters is you, yourself. Because not everybody else is going to be in their life for the rest of your life. No, because in high school or school, Everybody else is always doing their own thing. Right up to grade 12, when everybody graduated, everybody goes their own way. There are people you never speak again, and there are people you may see again, especially with reunions and all that. But really, it's just you, yourself. Be who you are, and I promise you, it's gonna make you happy. If you're not, and you find a way to make yourself happy, that's great too. Congratulations. You may be one of the odd person who knows how to be happy without actually being themselves. It's an honesty thing. And after all, this is Devin talking to the world. Talk to you next time.